Story 1. Would I be the asshole if I asked someone who I thought was my friend to move out? My friend 24F, let's call her Nancy, has been living with me 30F for almost 3 weeks now. Before that, she stayed with me for 2 months, during which she only contributed to groceries. I didn't mind at the time because I wanted to give her space to figure things out. How she moved in, Nancy was dating my neighbor. When they had issues, I once let her crash in my guest room. They broke up over the holidays, and she stayed in her hometown. Afterward, she called me saying she missed job opportunities in the city because she had nowhere to stay. I offered her a place so she could attend an interview, but she arrived even though the interview had already fallen through. I helped with her CV and expected her to be job hunting, but her energy was more focused on getting back with her ex. Eventually, they got back together, but she didn't move in with him. She became the girl next door instead. She went home recently to visit family and friends, but left her things at my place. She told me she wouldn't stay with me anymore since she couldn't afford to contribute groceries and would stay with her boyfriend when in town. I kept checking in to get my stuff back. She had some of my makeup, and she eventually said she'd come by midweek. When she did, she hadn't been to see her boyfriend, unsurprisingly. They broke up again. I let her stay anyway since she said she'd be in and out. Now she's seeing a guy who offered to help her get a job. He's the same guy who previously hit on me, ghosted me, and then tried to come back. I warned her, but she kept seeing him. He flaked on their date, and there's still no sign of the job. I gave her a 2-week grace period, but encouraged her to keep applying elsewhere. I've supported her emotionally and professionally, but now I feel like it's time she moves out. Why I think she should leave. I met up with her and her friends. They were going to a second spot. I was heading home. I asked her to wait 5 minutes so I could settle my bill, but she didn't. I ended up walking home alone, late at night, in the cold. I later told her how that felt, and she apologized, but claimed she had no control over the situation in exchange for staying. All she has to do is walk my dog twice a day and do the dishes. I would cook and handle everything else. Last Thursday, she walked the dog in the morning, then left to visit a friend. I called around 8 p.m., asking when she'd be back. She said she'd let me know, but didn't. My dog ended up pooping in the house while I was working. I work nights. When I confronted her, she just said her friend needed her, and that she had no control over the situation. Comment 1, not the asshole. You are being used. Pack everything up if hers, and tell her she wore out her welcome, and she has X days to get her things, but she can only do so when you are home. Makeup is a write-off. Comment to not the asshole, some people do not take to personal responsibility in living independently like others. You have a responsibility to yourself to promote and protect your own well-being. It sounds like this friend has overstayed her welcome and did not live up to her side of the arrangement. In business, if a party fails to uphold their end of a contract, the contract can be dissolved. And I think it's totally appropriate to apply that standard here. Comment 3, she does seem to hide behind the fact that she had no control over the situation. I know you probably care about her, but if you give her an ultimatum, she will find a job much faster. Story 2. Would I be the asshole if I hung out with my best friend's ex? My fiancé 32M and I 31F had a college roommate we'll call a 30M. We all lived together for 3 years and got close. He felt like a brother to me. During that time, I started dating my best friend 31F, though she never lived with us. Their relationship ended badly. It was pretty awful to her, mostly due to his trust issues with women. And I had to bite my tongue a lot for the sake of being roommates. I confronted him a few times, but we still had to live together for a while. After they broke up, it was hard and messy. Still, I had a soft spot for her despite everything. We shared a lot of good times as roommates. After graduation, we all moved on. I went back home. My fiancé and I moved into our own place, and my best friend relocated for work. We still saw A occasionally, mainly because he and my fiancé remained close friends. My best friend was really hurt. I stayed friendly with A, and we had a big fight about it. But eventually she understood, at least on the surface. Later, moved to another city and I lost touch with him. My fiancé stayed in occasional contact, and we even visited once. Everything felt like water under the bridge. Then, about a year ago, I found out A and my best friend reconnected. She was unhappy in a relationship and reached out while traveling. They started talking again platonically at first, but caught feelings. A love bombed her hard. Talked about moving in, building a life, being serious. She was so happy, and I was happy for her too, but it didn't last. He fell into old patterns: jealousy, controlling behavior, being a bad partner. He wouldn't meet her on work trips, both work remotely. Hated that she had a big social life, and generally made her feel guilty for living hers. On top of that, he regularly talked to his ex-friend with benefits about their relationship issues. Even accidentally texting my best friend something meant for that girl about how expensive her birthday dinner was. Total slap in the face. Eventually, after 6 to 7 months, he told her he couldn't commit and wanted to live in his car, be a snowboarding instructor, and peak in his 30s. Yes, really. She was devastated. She was ready to uproot her life. For him again, because she genuinely thought it would work this time. He led her on, only to pull the rug out again. Now he's in town and wants to get dinner with my fiancé and me. I don't want to go. My fiancé says I should because there are 2 sides to every story and that my best friend will never. No, he's really pressuring me, but I feel like it totally violates girl code. I'm furious with A and don't know how I'd even be civil. I think he's a selfish asshole, and I don't get why my fiancé won't just go alone. So Reddit would. I'd be the asshole if I gave in and went to dinner with a... Or would I be right to stay home and hold my ground? Edit. I ended up not going. Thank you all for the helpful responses and validation. I really appreciate it. Comment. 1 People who treat my friends poorly are not my friends. You're totally within your rights to not want to go to dinner with this guy. It's not just that Hayes an ex. It's how he treated her that is the real problem. Yoon PA, for skipping. I do the same talking to, yes, you would be the asshole if you gave in. I really think you talk to your best friend and tell her about all of this. Just so she knows, unless you already have, and know what her stance surrounding this situation is. I think you shouldn't go. Why waste your time at dinner with a guy who treated your best friend horribly? That's wrong, and if your fiancés can't comprehend that, then that's a him problem. He can go by himself. It won't kill him. This is beyond girl code. It's just showing your best friend you care about her. Comment 3. Your fiancé is the asshole. He's forcing you to have dinner with someone you are not comfortable with, to the point he knows you'll be forced to lose a friend or lie about it. Story 3. Would I be the asshole for committing to a previously made plan? I26M had made a plan about a month or 2 ago for a poker night this upcoming Friday. In the time since the plan was made, my partner 26F and I have had a very busy summer, and the poker night slipped my mind. Last Thursday, my partner and I made reservations, to which I noted, I'm pretty sure I had the poker night planned and needed to double check. I couldn't find our text conversation about it, nor was it on my calendar, but I had a strong feeling something was set for that day. Today the poker host texted everyone to confirm for Friday, and my fears were realized that I had now double-booked myself. I first profusely apologized to my partner and asked if we could move our reservation to next Friday, as there was plenty of availability, and I would sweeten the deal by finding a secondary surprise activity to accompany dinner. My partner is admittedly rightly disappointed and wants to know what she's expected to do, instead saying it's too last minute to make plans for Friday, and that I had already committed plans with her, even though the dinner plan was made after the poker night plan. For more context, I've offered alternate plans for Friday prior to the poker night and invited her to the poker night, to which she has declined both. Would I be the asshole if I went to the poker night? Comment 1. Why did you book a reservation? While saying you were pretty sure it was the poker night. Once you couldn't find any info about poker night, why didn't you ask the organizer when it was? Sounds like you had 2 chances to avoid this being a problem, and you missed both of them. Comment 2. An adjure partner should be able to find something to do by themselves for a night. I get their disappointment, but you can do a date night whenever. This poker game has been planned a lot longer and probably doesn't happen every night. If you do this frequently, then you need to get it together, and you'd be the a-hole. Comment 3. Would not be the asshole he may F, and I understand her disappointment. However, you did have plans previously, and you offered to bring her with you, and then also to do more with her the next Friday. If this is usually a problem in the relationship, you canceling plans, then you being the a-hole. But if this is a rare thing, then you're not the asshole story. For would I be the asshole if I pull my kids out off daycare? Would I be the asshole I 27F? Am a single mother of 2 who work hard to take care of my kids ages 3F and 7M? My kids have been going to this summer camp daycare over the past couple of months, and everything have been going great. To give back context, my daughter have severe eczema, and she'll have to be monitored at all time from keeping herself from scratching and drawing blood from her skin. This was made aware to her teacher and told as soon to apply ointment to irritated areas. Fast forward to my kids being in daycare, I received a text from their teacher letting me know. My daughter have caused herself to drawn blood from scratching. Her wounds was cleaned and bandaged up, and it was noted down in her charts. Everything was fine past this incident. Fast forward to almost 3 weeks ago. My daughter had the same incident. This time her teacher requires for her to return back to daycare summer camp. I didn't have a problem getting the doctor's note for my daughter, since this was an easy fix in my kid's doctor office. Woke up pretty much during this time of yay for the fact school is going to be back in school. Once I was able to get a doctor note for my daughter to return, I sent the document right over to her teacher, which I got a response from them. She could not return. She talked to her doctor on staff, and since my doctor visit was over video call, it's not a liable note for her to return to tell if she is perfectly fine, as long as her teacher had followed the instructions that was set for her and watch and apply. When they see my daughter's skin irritated with my kids' daycare, summer camp, this program, they get paid through the help of the state and a copay since my kids have not been there. I've not been paying, but the state have been paying. Now what I want to know, would I be the asshole if stop the payment and not tell them and pull my children out of the daycare summer camp? Comment 1, you would be the asshole if you just stop paying and stop showing up. But not if you just want to pull them out and give proper notice. But expecting teachers to monitor your kid 100% while they are in school, daycare is unreasonable. Comment 2, you the asshole for not using punctuation at the end of the story. I'm not trying to understand that mess of words. Comment 3, you the asshole for expecting a summer camp day care teacher to be responsible for your child's constant skin issues. I would be concerned that your child is getting a hazardous substance on the other children. At 3, she doesn't understand how dangerous someone else's blood can be, and if she's exposing other children to her blood ESP, if there's more than like a 1-to-4 teacher-to-student ratio, they cannot constantly monitor her for scratching. It's bound to happen again, and it is a large hassle for providers and takes their time away from keeping the other children safe and clean. You need to seek more provider care and get that baby some relief for the eczema and get the scratching under control at home before you send her back to a school program. Story 5. Would I be the asshole for not following my fiancé's family tradition? Me, our chef, and my fiancé's 3OM are getting married in October. We're planning everything pretty extensively so we can have more peace when it's closer to the wedding date. For some context, I am a very spiritual person. He knew this going into our relationship, and it has never been a problem until now. I believe that everything has a sort of spiritual connection and can impact your life in some way, i.e. crystals having power in your life. Anyways, while discussing wedding plans, I mentioned where we were going to get the rings, because my friend is a jeweler and offered free custom rings as a gift. He looked at me very confused and said, we were going to his parents' rings because they have been passed down from his great-grandparents, and it was tradition for the eldest child to marry using them. He had never expressed wanting to do this before, though I did know about the tradition. I just assumed he didn't want to participate. I told him I didn't want to use their rings since his parents got divorced, and I believe that would bring bad karma into our marriage, which I don't want. It got very heated, and he ended up saying that my dumb beliefs were the only thing ruining our soon-to-be marriage. I left and went to my parents' house to cool off and got a couple calls from his mom, which I didn't pick up because I was upset. I then got a few dozen nasty texts from her, pretty much saying I was ruining tradition and how she knew I wasn't right for her son from the start. I'm super confused, upset, and now I'm second-guessing my decisions. Would I in the wrong for ruining his family tradition and not using the rings? Thank you to everyone who took the time to comment their thoughts. Even the mean ones helped me come to the conclusion I did. I read everyone's comments, even if I didn't reply, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you everyone. Okay, so here's the update. I ended up texting him telling him we needed to talk this morning, and he agreed. I went back home and laid out everything pretty cut and dry. How sorry I was for dismissing his feelings. It's telling him where we are getting the rings, not asking, therefore not involving him, and my pattern of doing that. I also told him I felt hurt and disrespected by his comments regarding my beliefs, and showed him his mother's messages to me, which he didn't know about. I asked him if he always felt my beliefs were dumb, or if he just said it in the heat of the moment. And he was very hesitant, but ended up saying he always felt that way, which broke me. He told me his mother crossed so many lines and how he felt violated by her interference and apologized to me for letting that happen. I told him I think we both need some time to work on our relationship, because we both have issues we need to work through together, or else we are not going to last. And so we should also postpone the wedding until we are ready. He agreed to couples therapy, which we are starting to look into now. I gave many comprises for the ring dilemma, and he said that if cleansing the rings and adding crystals to them would make me feel comfortable using them, then that's fine with him, saying that adding something special to us would make 2 rings even more beautiful in the tradition. So all he would need to do is ask his parents if that's all right with them. He felt they had a say because it is their rings. After our talk, he said that he never took the time to understand my beliefs, but he wants to, which honestly is the sweetest thing ever. He told his mom that he is ashamed of her actions and asked if she really meant everything she said too, which she broke down and told him she was just protecting him. I'm not too sure what happened after that. It's really hard for my fiancé, or I guess boyfriend now, to talk about everything with his mom because it's all super raw. I guess they aren't talking right now. So yeah, I believe that's everything. But I'll edit this if I'm forgetting anything. Also, to all the people saying we need to break up and that we aren't made for each other, happy endings do exist, and if we put in the work, we can have one. I love him so much, and I know he loves me too. This man is genuinely my soulmate. Thanks for reading. TLDR, getting couples counseling. Not talking to his mom anymore, but that could change if she changes. Comment 1, everyone sucks here. Both of you unilaterally made the decision of what rings to get without consulting the other for something that was clearly important to both of you. Should have been a joint decision, not a tell the other what you decided thing. Comment to everyone. Sucks higher adult communication would have made this a non-issue and helped find a compromise. Comment 3, everyone sucks Hiret. Got very heated, and he ended up saying that my dumb beliefs were the only thing ruining our soon-to-be marriage. Gotta admit. You seem to have some fringe beliefs, and that's fine. You do you. But recognize that they're outside mainstream, so plenty of people are just not going to get it. Evidently, the beliefs are damaging this relationship now, and will almost certainly continue to do so. To that extent, your fiancé kinda has a point. That said, there's no way this was a surprise to your fiancé that he obviously knows about the beliefs, has a problem with them, and decided to go ahead with a wedding anyway, when he clearly sees red flags. It's kind of a jerk move.